I love printing. I love printing. I love it. I love printing. Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of Printer to Printer with me, Warren Werbitt, also known as the Print Whisperer. Today we have another wonderful guest from our wonderful industry. We have Trey Laverty of the Slate Group. Did I get that spelling and pronunciation correct?
Great job.
All right, I got to check with everybody because I messed them all up. So good to have you on, Trey. Why don't you take a minute, like I give everybody, and tell us a little bit about Slate Group.
Thinking of us and having me on, Warren. I'm excited. I've been following you and all your other videos and everything like that. And I love to learn from just you and just other printers. I think that's one thing we just are always constantly learning how we can be better each day. So real quick, kind of about Slate Group. So we've started out in 1985 and early 2000s. We were kind of on the first to kind of be online printers. And then I started in 2012, and it was at that time we were spending a lot of money in Google advertising to just basically get the phones to ring. And so we're just kind of taking orders as it goes, and we had to make a choice to where are we going to be just an online printer, or are we going to be more relationship based and everything? And so we decided to go the latter. And so we cut off all Google advertising. We changed our culture of our company to how do we better support our employees? How do we help them grow? How do we change up our sales culture? And it went from basically, well, we're going to have to go prospect. Let's find the customers that are right fit for us. It's not all business is good business. So we went, how do we find the right business? And it scared a lot of people. Change is scary for a lot. And we had people jump ship and say it'll never work. And then, but it was great because I was able to bring in a new type of sales staff. We started hiring younger people under 30 years old who were coming in the right first or second job. And then they had to have a marketing or advertising degree. And so if you just go in there and say, hey, we want you to work in print, I mean, that's not sexy. But if we can say, hey, we're going to come in and be creative and use your marketing passion to really work with some great brands. So they came in, and that really changed the culture and changed how we work with customers. And so we went from the last 10 to 11 years from an 18,000 square foot facility to a 40,000 square facility. And then we're adding on right now. And in May, we're going to be at just under 100,000 square feet. And then through that, tripling our sales, but really just dedicated to our sales culture, our internal culture. And through that, but internally, the other thing we really want to do is bring as much firepower and equipment in-house so we can do it all in-house when we can move faster. We live in that Amazon world where everybody wants things in 2 days. And so how do we move things fast? And you can't really do that if you're outsourcing stuff and everything. So we moved everything we got our commercial offset printing, digital printing, wide format, embellishments from spot UV to foil, embroidery. We just purchased a screen printer that'll be here in a couple months. So something kind of new to learn from, and then working with clients and brands all over the country.
Wow, I'm out of breath after that. But no, that's it's awesome, by the way. So first of all, in everything that you just said and everything you told me, I want to mention your owner's name, and that's Don Denny. And full disclosure, the only reason I called the Slate Group is I was going through the Printing Impression 300, and I came across Don Denny. I like the fact that he had 2 D's in his name, and I have 2 W's, so I'm always impartial to that. But I called up Don, and he passed me on to Trey. But Don, I'm going to give a shout out to you because everything that Trey just said could only be for one reason. Aside from having amazing people on your staff, you must be quite the leader to allow that to happen, because that doesn't happen and people don't get excited unless there is a good leader at the top. Point being said, anybody listening, if you're the leader, just remember it starts with you and it trickles down. And when you stop, everyone else stops. So pick it up and keep going. All right, now we'll come back to the show. Yes, everything you just said was wow. One thing that got me, that I piqued my ears right away, was you mentioned people getting scared and leaving. So I guess the good thing there is get rid of the old, bring in the new, get rid of the old and save the severance package. So way to go, Don. That was good. But tell me about the young people. Tell me how many salespeople do you have in general?
We've got 12 sales reps, and then along with 3 of us that our owner, Donnie, like I said, Don's done a great job of having that vision and do whatever he can to help us grow and provide the right equipment for us and firepower. And like I said, setting examples. He's putting together sample packs. He's sweeping the floor. He does it all. So he's been great to have as a leader. And then our COO, he's selling as well. So about 12 to 15 of us are selling. Half of those are probably under the age of 35.
Okay, so let's stop for a moment. The under 35, men, women, both?
Both. Yes, sir.
Okay, maybe there's something else. I don't want to discriminate, but no jokes either. Well, maybe a little, but no. So of the can't help it. I can't help not making jokes because nobody laughs enough in life. But go back to the salespeople. What is it that that attracted them to you? Or what is it that attracted you to them? And thirdly, or altogether, is how did it all come together? Because it's not often that you hear of a sales company attracting a bunch of young salespeople.
So it's a little bit of both. So kind of we've made our facility and our offices and just our culture is about inspiration. We're not going out and say, hey, look at us. We do business cards. We do brochures. That's not how we do it. We say, how can we create engaging marketing collateral, and how do we be marketers who work through print instead of just printers? And so when we're looking initially, I'm looking for someone that's got a creative background and with a degree in advertising or marketing or something, that background that's got that creative spark. Because as we work through it, as we're kind of growing into that, it was me kind of putting together different creative things for everybody and kind of working with their customers. But now we've got every single rep can go in there and start from scratch, where customers are now calling us like, hey, what do you got for me? And they're cutting paper, gluing stuff, figuring out something new that's different, and they're doing it on their own, and they create relationships with their clients as well. But when you look at it that way, it's fun. It's not, we're just not creating an estimate and sending it down. It's getting produced, and it's not transactions. It's more of like, we're bringing things to life and bringing stuff, and they're following our customers on social media, and they're excited when they see a college or a high school student open up a I'm accepted banner that has a mountain top on it or an eagle popping out or something like that. So they're fully invested, and they've done, I'm just so proud. We've come a long ways, and it wasn't always easy, but I mean, our entire team, they're just killing it, and they're pushing each other. That's the other thing. So it's not going down and, putting a thumb on them. They're individually pushing each other. Hey, try this, or what can we do? And they're pushing each other for increase their sales. And so it's been really neat to see. And it's a lot different than a lot of other places.
Wow. So just for other print people that are listening, when you hire a young person with no experience, how do you pay them? Like, you don't have to give me exactly, but like, is there a starting salary, commission, bonus? Is it just nobody works for draw against commission anymore? That's not exactly motivating.
No, it's a great question. And that's kind of the thing. So we're in Lubbock, Texas. You can see my map right about there. And then you got the Dallas area over here and everything. So we're kind of more rural. We don't have where we can just go and just bring on someone with a book of business from another printer. So we kind of have to kind of grow them from scratch. And so what we do is, our goal is to get them at 100% commission. And we've probably got one of the highest commission rates in the country. And so, but to get them started from scratch, what I do is I just love selling. So I'll go and I'll build up kind of a book of business and sales and everything. And when I bring them on, then we'll work together. And so they'll kind of work as my CSR and kind of working together on different projects. I bring them in with the customers, and the intention is after a certain amount of time that I can pass that book of business off to them. Because there's no way for someone just coming from scratch. It just take too long for them to do that. So if I can do that, and it's kind of a training model. And one thing we've seen, it takes about a year just to get it all, to understand print and understand.
By the way, I'm happy to hear you say that it takes about a year, because it's really more like 18 months for the new salespeople that don't really know print to be having their own little book, not even big, but their own little book of business where they're running. And I say to owners who bring people on, first of all, anyone who's bringing somebody on who has a $2 million book and you think they're bringing it with them, you're out of your mind. If they bring 400, you're lucky. But don't hire anybody if you don't have the guts to go 12 to 18 months. If you're going to take a person out of a job and then after 6 months decide you're frustrated and you've had enough, don't do that to that person. It's not fair. Sorry, I had to have a little commercial
No,
there,
you're exactly
right?
on.
But that's good. Sorry, so you said they have a salary when they start?
We do. So we look at a salary, and we don't. And again, when you're hiring young, I mean, you look at it. It's basically your salaries can be a little bit lower as well. And because the hard thing is, if you start at a high salary and then you got a commission to get up there, it can take years and years. And so, like I said, the goal is if we can get them from a salary to straight commission, then they get to kind of control their destiny, and they can and that's kind of a fun incentive for them as well. And they can make as much money as they want and kind of go from there. So it's kind of a quick goal to get to and then move on.
And is everybody at the company selling good with straight commission?
We are. So we do 10% commission gross sales. So like I said, I visit a lot of printers around the country, and I feel like that's probably on the higher side for most people.
Few points on the higher side. And do you do, I mean, obviously, no, I'm not going to say obviously, but 10 points on the gross, but is it a sliding scale based on markup?
No, we just go gross. So
you just go 10% gross all the time.
You sell $1 million, make $100,000. So we want to take care of them. I mean, they're bringing in business, and we don't there's a lot of different ways we've seen you can get kind of finicky, and it just kind of almost, it deters the sales rep from going and selling more. And so if we can basically provide a good opportunity for them, then they're going to continue growing. And then that helps the company in total as well.
So I'm going to make an assumption, hate assuming, but more and more equipment that you bring in to do stuff in-house allows you the room to move on that 10% gross. Because if you're farming work out, there's no way as a company you could survive to pay 10%.
And having it in-house, it also changes the sales manner. So if you're outsourcing, for example, we've had a spot UV machine for quite a while, but before we had that machine in-house, we were outsourcing just a few jobs here and there, but the reps weren't able to see it and really kind of visualize it. They understood it, they understood how to sell it, but it just didn't feel as comfortable. We put that machine in-house, and it hasn't turned off ever since.
Runs every day.
The owner, basically the company from Japan or China or wherever, they came over and said, "You guys are selling more polymer than anybody else." And so it's neat. And the same as a lot of other pieces of equipment. Once we get it on our floor, they can see it, they understand it, they feel more comfortable selling it, and then it just takes off like wildfire.
Wow, that's pretty cool. What kind of machine did you buy?
It was a Duplo DDC.
Okay. What are you running for digital?
We've got an HP Indigo. We did have 2 HP Indigos. We've actually started switching over to Ricos. So we've actually put in 3 Ricos. We just installed a Rico a couple months ago with a booklet maker on the end of it. And so it's been doing great. We can do some larger sheets on it than we can the Indigos. And so it's been pretty good for us.
Oh, cool. I noticed on the website, new 8-color Komori.
We are. So with our new expansion of an additional 48,000 square feet, we've already got 2 40-inch Komoris, 5 colors. And so this is going to allow us to give us just more firepower with the 8 color. And so our capacity to get the jobs in and out, like I said.
So you're going to keep the 2 5s and the 8?
Yes, sir. And so we're going to have a lot of capacity. That's where we've got all our reps here. We're actually even looking for, maybe an outside rep. They could work remote and have, it'd be great if they could bring over a book of business of publication work, because we're going to have it. We can get it out quickly. And we've got our mail house in-house as well. So we're doing a lot of publications, and it just can get printed and out the door in a timely manner.
So what don't you do in-house?
Web. So we're going to stick away from web, but
yeah, don't go to web.
But like I said, we bought a t-shirt machine. We got all sorts of things. That's the fun part.
T-shirt machine. Now you're going into apparel.
Yes, sir.
So are you printing fabric for clothing making, or just pre-made t-shirts, clothing that you're like for the promo market?
Yes, sir. More on the promos. We do a lot of promotional products, from your cups, hats, all different things. But then we're the embroidery machine and the screen printer in house. And what we'll be able to do is we'll be able to purchase blank shirts, screen print it, and then send it out. And like I said, we've got, from a marketing standpoint, we want to help our customers in whatever aspect that might be. And if we can't do it, we're going to be open and transparent and say, we can't do this, but here's who I would suggest. But then if we can get it done in-house, and that's just part of it. I mean, you've got your marketing teams that are coming in. You got more, instead of using agencies, they're bringing it more in-house. The print buyers are getting younger and younger, so they don't really know as much. It's just saying, here's what I want, and they don't make it happen. And so that's where you do it, and they just want to go to one person. it's they're not one to talk to a lot of people. They don't like talking on the phone very much anyways as it is. So it's more like I just want to deal with one person, one source. And so if we can do that for our customers, then it helps our business and it makes their life a lot easier as well.
Oh, for sure. Listen, I think there's a lot of buyers today who are younger and don't know a lot about what we do and how it goes. And when they go out and they get prices from people, but they don't even know if they're using printers in the same category, right? In terms of who could deliver and what size is what size. So if we can learn to make their lives easier and educate them, I think it'll go a long way. The average customer you have now, you have new salespeople and older salespeople. What's the percentage of the overall customer buying is older, younger, middle?
I was kind of seeing a little bit of a gap where you kind of had the older that been in print shops and everything like that. And then it goes kind of a big gap and it goes to a lot younger. And then there's still some people in the middle, but we're seeing a lot of younger print buyers. And that's kind of where like our reps, they're TikToking back and forth or Snapchatting or whatever it might be. And they're got a different type of communication, which is kind of neat.
Well, they're making friends.
They're making friends. Yeah. So that's how they do it. And so, but we're seeing a lot of that. And it's not we want a grade one sheet or they're not as picky. They just like, here's the look I'm going for. And trying to find, so we can basically say, all right, you want a matte, gloss, you want soft touch, you want reticulated varnish, what's that kind of look? And then that we also help too, is like, instead of just saying, we want this type of varnish, like, let's look at the artwork. How can we make this artwork really come to life and give those suggestions and work back and forth? And that's like, how do we make that experience awesome for their end user?
Cool. Well, I'll give a shout out to the OEMs right now, but the way they're making equipment today, a lot of the work coming off the presses, offset or digital, it all looks pretty good. It's just really, I think, determining what's a better fit for you with the OEM when you buy the equipment and what works from you from a dollar perspective. But I think everything looks pretty good these days, right?
And with all the extra finishes, like I said, when you're putting a soft touch, you're doing full color, you're putting a soft touch or reticulated. And that's, again, sensory marketing, doing healthcare and people are going through hard times. You want that soft touch feel, you got to bring in that sensory marketing to make people feel calm. And once you put all that on there, you're not really seeing it. So it's just, how do we create something that people are going to love?
Yeah, and today it is more about the embellishments. The embellishments, from people I've spoken to, from what I hear, from what I know, they bring in, higher margin orders, higher value, not only for the printer, but the customer generally has a better return when they go with the embellishments. And you mentioned before that, the sexy print. Well, sexy print is a popular word now. You could hashtag sexy print. That started with Tactiful and Kevin Abergel and all the embellishments using the MGI and the Scodex machines. And we do got to let people know that printing is sexy.
There you go.
And I'm not going to delete that because it's just a blunder blooper, but I mix the words up sometimes. But sexy print sells.
It does.
Right. And, maybe you shouldn't say it, but I think sex adds some high margin to stuff, right? Depending on who it is. But no, that's good. And I go to the site. I will tell you, when I go to the site, I do think you got to get the equipment off the site. You guys could have better messaging because the only people who like equipment are printers and owners.
Exactly.
Customers today don't really understand what the print is. I am pretty impressed with everything that you're doing, and kudos to you guys for, moving with the growth and, expanding and bringing more in. When I had my shop, I kind of had the same idea. We wanted to be the place where people went for, their branding. So if you had a show, we could do your booth, we could do your signage, we could do your mailing, we could do your brochure, and we'll start on the hardest substrate to match your color and then take it the right way through, right? I think one of our jobs in selling print, not as a commodity, and we've got to get away from the commodity, but is, with everything you offer, getting to the customer and explaining to them the benefits of working in one shop, managing the brand. But something that they don't ever calculate is when they go out on 5 projects to 3 printers to get quotes, and they factor in all the time that they spend right? If they're using 3 printers that are relatively competitive in the zone, they'll find out that everybody's pretty close within a few points up or down, but the amount of time they spent is astronomical. So for some, it's better that they build relationships where they know that they're getting an honest estimate. They know they're getting the work done right. So it almost sounds to me like you guys are doing a little bit of that.
That's the goal. And we're not looking to be the cheapest printer. We're looking to be the right printer. And it's not, and looking at all those processes. And two, it's also, like I tell a lot of our customers, we want to be transparent with you. We have to be transparent with us. And looking at these projects, it's like, hey, if we can get a budget, because it may be one of those things we kind of say, hey, this is what we kind of envision. But when we start looking at the budget, it's like, maybe we can't do this, but let's do this to really make this pop. And then we're able to stay in budget. And so we can try, we've got so many different avenues we can go with it and still make a great piece and try to be effective in all aspects.
Oh, no, I think it's great. And I think anybody who is pricing the lowest print to get it should be out of business. But that's just my own personal thought. What are you doing? How do you market to your customers? Like, how do you reach them?
So marketing is, like I said, we're not going out there and saying 50% off sale or whatever it might be. We don't sell on price. It's more of like inspiration, and we use Inspire a lot. And so we love showing new ideas. So if you like our website, we've got an inspiration site, and it's got all these different projects, and we want to inspire, because what people go through is like, sometimes you just don't know what you don't know. And so we want to go through there and we want to show off different things, but then not only say, hey, look at all these pretty print pieces. It's like, let's talk about the application of maybe why someone else used it. And we've got a great client base that they're willing to share. So we'll have, they're more than willing to share their projects out there as well, which is great to have. We'll do that. We'll do some other kind of videos. We've got a great marketing manager that's pumping out kind of new, fresh stuff. He's 22 and absolutely killing it. And so
Cool.
It's fun seeing that. And then we're also doing, we do every year, we do Print Inspired. So we do a print event. We call it Print Inspired, but it's more of, we always go to these big cities for these different conferences and everything like that. And I was like, why can't we do it here? And it's not, we don't get up there and we don't sell and talk about different products. I brought in a guy that he spoke on Chat GPT and how to use that in marketing. We brought in like Southwest. We edit that out. We brought in other speakers from different industries that will come in and talk about, what their struggles are as a chief marketing officer, or what their different things, or how they start up a new brand. So it's all about marketing. And then we infuse print inside with it to where we've got different projects and different stuff to where we're doing, maybe doing sketches and doing stuff that's kind of just a fun day. And then we'll come over, instead of doing a print tour, instead of, walking through and like, look at this piece of equipment. This is what this does. What we'll do is we call it a weird walk. So you find inspiration anywhere and everywhere. So it could be, in a McDonald's box, or it could be whatever it might be. So what we do is just go weird walk, and we walk and let them walk around and look for things that they didn't think they'd see before, or maybe they say, well, that was kind of cool on there, and then they come back and get inspired. And as they kind of go through that, we'll talk about the equipment and those questions like that. But it's not towards kind of an old school, this prints on this paper and this and blah 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 blah. Nobody cares. It's like, how do we find different inspiration? So we do that. Two of our sales guys actually just started a podcast last year, and it's called Binding Minds. Check it out. They've got it's not really geared towards, again, how print works and selling, but we're working with people that work with print and talking about kind of what their struggles are and how, so that way when you listen to it, you're learning from different industries, from just so many different avenues. Because like I said, you can learn things from, doesn't matter what industry, because a lot of us get trapped in, if you're if you're airlines, then you want to go search awesome airlines projects. And so it's like, what we tell people is like, it's so easy to get stuck in this bubble. Say, you need to go look outside of the box, go look at other industries and see how they relate, and just expand your mind. And so it was really neat for our reps to do that. And kind of, it was with the podcast, it's something they've never done before. And that's, they gave it a shot, and they're trying it, they're killing it. They've got a lot of great speakers and stuff. So I'm very, very proud of them, because they're basically creating their own brand through that. And in return, it sells, and it's a whole different way. So we market through inspiration, and that's been a big part of our growth.
Wow, no, that's great. So a couple things, because I'm going to forget in whatever order. So inspiration, I love the fact that on the website, instead of having a sample section, you're using the word inspiration. And when you go to it, the stuff, I'm looking at a TCU men's golf piece right now with a soft touch and a foil. Like it's emotional, right? There's more feeling than if it just says a sample page. Love the fact that these guys are having a podcast. I'm going to look them up actually and see maybe there's something we could do together. You mentioned the people under 40. I'm on a call next week with, there's a print group in printing called 40 under 40, printers under 40. Not 100% sure of the name at the moment, but I'll find it. When I put it out there, have your folks look into it and see what it is to join. The more people that could be part of this group, right? And I'm going to speak with them because I want them to blow the group up and have their own event somewhere and have people come and go. And, nobody over 40 can go unless they can make it till the end of the evening. That would be me. But no, and then it just puts everyone, because it's a new culture, right? And, us older folks, not that we're that much older, but, they need to be able to communicate with the peers that they work with, and we need to learn from them because it's their world now, right? I was at a client speaking and with all the salespeople, and I was amazed that nobody's LinkedIn page was filled out properly. And I said, you're going to lose people. I said, because the young people, first thing they do is, what do? They go to a website, they go to a LinkedIn page. If they want to look you up, your phone number's not there, they don't come back. So we all have to be in tune. So I think that's pretty cool. So I'm loving everything you guys are doing. It's exciting to hear about growth. It's exciting to hear about building being expanded. It's super exciting to know that DD's so on board and leading you guys in a great way and letting you spread the wings and do what has to be done. Wow. So anyway, before I kick you off, you have any parting words for the people that are listening?
No, I think we tell everybody, go be awesome today and make other people awesome. And that's kind of our goal here. And when you're creating stuff, and it doesn't have to be boring old stuff, and we can create stuff. And you run up to things, it's always like, well, we've never done this before. And that's kind of, I tell a lot of people, my dad's a Baptist preacher, my granddad's a Baptist preacher. I'm definitely not. But it's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We've always done it this way. And so our mentality is like, let's go. It's like, how can we create it? And it may be tough. We'll start cutting it out and trying different things, and anything's possible. But if you go make people awesome, then you'll make yourself awesome. And it's just fun. That's what it's all about.
It's all about the attitude, right?
That's right.
Live, love, and laugh. And if you could do that and not take anything too seriously, treat people the way you want to be treated, that's your ticket for success. Because karma is good. Karma comes back when you're not expecting it. So it's cool. Wow. Anyway, Trey, a pleasure meeting you. Pleasure talking with you. Super excited to hear about the company. To everybody else out there, I hope you made it to the end because we talked about a lot of good things. If you made it to the end, hit the like button. I think there's a like button. If there's not a like button, write a comment. At the very least, reach out to me if there's anything you'd like to hear, anything you'd like to know about, or if you'd like to be on with me. I'm always open to have anybody on that could add some value to the people that are listening. Otherwise, Trey, again, thank you.
Thanks, Warren. I really appreciate it. Great.
Pleasure's mine. To everybody else, have a great day. Warren Werbitt, I love print for what they think. Cheers.
Go be awesome.